Donald Trump's minority outreach could change the dynamic of this election as he tries to win over both African-American voters and Hispanics as well. Many Latinos, though, say they were a little confused this week at Trump's changing remarks on the issue of immigration reform. Brings up a lot of questions, though, about Hillary Clinton's immigration plan. Here to weigh in, Linda Tran, founding partner of 270 Strategies, and Brad Blakeman, former George W. Bush White House official. Nice to see you guys.
Thanks.
Linda, Republicans seem to think that Donald Trump had a pretty good week when it comes to immigration in terms of reaching out to Hispanics. I take it that you have a slightly different view of that.
Well, and I think it depends on which Republicans you speak to. I mean, certainly the 15 or so members of his National Hispanic Advisory Council who walked away from their posts after his speech clearly beg to differ. On the Democratic side, I mean, what we would say is that he's been having trouble with the Hispanic vote, with Latino vote as it is, and this week certainly didn't do him any favors with his gambit down in Mexico.
I want to pull some video that just came in the past couple of minutes. This is Donald Trump walking around Ben Carso's old neighborhood there in Detroit, a depressed area of Detroit. We heard him at his speech there, 10 or 12 minutes so, at the church, Great Faith Ministries in Detroit. Brad, you've been saying all along, if Donald Trump is able to sort of change his tone, things could get very different here for the next couple of weeks. Is that happening now? Are we seeing a different Donald Trump over the past 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think he's more measured, he's more presidential, and most importantly, Leland, he's more substantive in his remarks. He's laying out policy now that's a common sense approach to the problems that we face in America. A majority of Americans believe America is on the wrong track, unfortunately. And what they're frustrated in, both Republicans and Democrats, is that nothing gets done in this. Everything's kicked down the road. And Americans are tired of the can being kicked. They want action. And I think Donald Trump is now finally laying out precisely what he's going to do and how he's going to do it. Most importantly, for us, is how is he going to pay for it.
Linda, you have to admit, though, this is a different Donald Trump than what we've seen in the past year and a half, for the past 2 weeks. Is it time for Democrats to change their tactics a little bit?
Well, I'd say it's a different Donald Trump today. The question is, what kind of Donald Trump are we going to see tomorrow or the day after? Over the past 15 months, we've seen moments when he's felt more subdued. We've heard a lot of talk about whether he's going to pivot to being presidential. And, you know, without fail, several days later, that switches back.
All right, but give him the benefit of the doubt. 2 weeks on the teleprompter, 2 weeks of being pretty measured. There haven't been any major gaffes or huge blow-ups here, Brad. It seems as though this campaign is becoming a lot more disciplined, and you listened to him at the church today, talked about things about school choice, about jobs, recited 1 John chapter 4, civil rights agenda of our time. These are very different kinds of talking points.
Well, look, Donald Trump is out there actually talking about stuff. Hillary Clinton is behind closed doors doing fundraisers. Where has Hillary been? She hasn't
in a press conference in 273 days.
Exactly. So I give Donald Trump a lot of credit. He's going to places the Republicans tend not to go. And you can't ask for a vote or earn a vote unless you go there and look people in the eye and give them a reason and an affinity to vote for you. So I give him a lot of credit, not only going to Mexico and standing up to the Mexican president and then coming and laying out a plan for immigration, but also going to the African-American community
You didn't see Mitt Romney in Southwest Detroit.
You didn't see Mitt Romney in Southwest Detroit. You did see him also go overseas, and it was practically pretty disastrous for him.
Okay, well, let's stick to where Donald Trump is, going out and asking people for votes, though, in the sense that Hillary Clinton, 273 days, hasn't held a press conference, hasn't talked to anybody, hasn't made herself available to the media. Even take a listen to her running mate, Tim Kaine, on CBS.
When will we see Hillary open up the floor and take questions from reporters at any event?
Well, you see Hillary take questions from reporters every day. She talks to the press everywhere she goes. I don't see what the massive difference is between a press conference and talking to the press everywhere you go.
Well, let's clear up the fact that there is a massive difference between those two things. But, Linda, really, at what point is Hillary Clinton going to have to start answering questions, start being available, start being accessible?
Look, I'd love to see Hillary Clinton out speaking to members of the media much more than she is right now. I do agree with my former boss that she has been conducting interviews. But the massive difference between her and Donald Trump is that she has this long-standing career. She has a very clear record that she's able to point to and that voters know about.
And there is her Achilles heel. She has a record. And right now we're seeing that record is abysmal. as Secretary of State. If you go around the world, look at the Middle East is in turmoil. Look at our relationship with Russia, our relationship with China, even our own hemisphere. Hillary Clinton has a record, and that's probably why we're not seeing her face you guys, is because she has a lot to answer for.
Well, not only in terms of answering for a record, also in terms of answering about these emails, answering about her FBI interview 38 times she couldn't recall. That's for another discussion. Linda, appreciate it. Good to see you, buddy.
Thanks.
Thanks.